Bradley Beal is having a historic season for the Washington Wizards, yet they sit last in the Eastern Conference and last in the NBA as a whole in terms of record at 3-11 right now. So Bradley Beal is speculated to want to trade soon. That's just our assumption, is that he's going to, demand out, because, he's averaging 39 points a game, and he's on the worst team in basketball. Russell Westbrook, so far it hasn't worked out with that. I saw a stat that was he has 164 points on 164 shots, and then they played another game which they lost, but this team has just been horrendous for him, and I think it's time for Bradley Beal to get out. He has 3 years left on his deal, $28.7 million this year, and I think that there are 4 teams that are suited to go after him. We're going to start from least realistic to most realistic, and some of these might be on the lower end, some of these might be on the higher end. I'm going off where they are at right now. If he were to demand a trade right now, what the deal I think he would get would be, obviously, if he messed some things up and he kind of went the Harden route, where it was like he diminished his value on purpose. These trades might get worse, might get better, whatever the case may be. But we're going to start off with what the Philadelphia 76ers trade package could be, which would simply be Ben Simmons for Bradley Beal and a top 10 protected 2025 first from the Wizards. Ben Simmons has been struggling this year, but the Sixers are still the best team in basketball right now, outside of the Lakers, of course. But Bradley Beal would simply replace Ben Simmons at the 1. Bradley Beal is a typical 2, but he's going to end up running the 1 in that case scenario. Tyrese Maxey is someone they're very, very high on, so he'd end up getting more playing time. They'd lose a little bit of defense, but he'd be a great running mate with Joel Embiid. They'd get there first just because Ben Simmons is 24 years old. He's younger than Bradley Beal. I think this is a win-win for both teams. Ben Simmons lets the Wizards go full rebuild. Eventually, they'd need to ship out Russell Westbrook in that case, which I assume if Beal's getting traded, Russ is getting traded, it's time for them to go full rebuild. But this would really kickstart them into that rebuild. Ben Simmons is someone perfect to build around for that team, so that would be deal number 1. But I don't expect that deal to ever happen, just simply because of the 76ers' success right now. The next one is with the Nuggets. Michael Porter Jr., Gary Harris, Will Barton, R.J. Hampton for Bradley Beal, Ish Smith, and a 2025 second-round pick. I actually think this deal could definitely go down. The Nuggets get their 3rd star to run alongside Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. Michael Porter Jr. would have to be the main reason for this trade. Gary Harris and Will Barton are quality NBA players that either they would help Michael Porter Jr. with, or they would just end up shipping out for more picks or young players, but they really were there for also a lot of cap space and filling. And then R.J. Hampton would just throw in another young piece for them. Ish Smith is on a 1-year deal. Bradley Beal is on a 3-year deal, and then that 2025 second-round pick could never hurt. So this would be beneficial for both teams for sure. Michael Porter Jr. and R.J. Hampton to build around. Gary Harris and Will Barton to possibly flip. And then in this one is with the Warriors. The Wizards would trade Bradley Beal and a 2024 second-round pick for Andrew Wiggins, 2021 Minnesota first-round pick, 2022 Golden State pick, and 2025 Golden State pick. This one is based off of the picks. I don't know if this would be the Warriors giving up too much because that Minnesota pick is projected to be top 5. Wiggins is playing a lot better this season. But to me, this deal works out perfectly for both teams. The Warriors getting Beal is a lot more for next season. Klay Thompson would run the 3, Draymond at the 4, Wiseman at the 5, Pascal off the bench. That team is really, really good. So, again, Bradley Beal and a second-round pick for Wiggins and 3 first-round picks, including this year's Minnesota pick. That's a deal that I could see happening for him. And then the Wizards and the Pelicans make a trade to send Lonzo and JJ but Lonzo Ball, J.J. Redick, Jackson Hayes, and a second-round pick for Bradley Beal. Lonzo Ball is, one of the point guards that needs to go. It's either got to be him or Bledsoe, and I think it's Lonzo just because they want to get younger. And they also haven't reached a deal. I could see this being a sign-and-trade for them. J.J. Redick was a coach's DNP last night, and I think that is because of a trade. So obviously if that trade happened, this wouldn't happen. But his $13 million and his struggling this year, he's on a 1-year deal. He'd be gone after this year. Jackson Hayes is still a second-year player, or is he third? He's second-year player. And then a second-round pick for Bradley Beal. The Pelicans can really get it going with maybe some more spacing, even though Lonzo Ball is coming off his best game where he had 7 3-pointers It's really hard to gauge the market for Bradley Beal right now, just because it seems like they have no intentions on trading him. And if they did, it'd have to be a big bag. But then those teams that have the big bags wouldn't want to trade for Bradley Beal. And a lot of teams just don't have the assets. These are 4 teams I think would be willing and have the assets. And these are just structures of deals I think could get done. Leave down your comments on another team that you think could make a deal for him, a team that you want him to go to. If you think he'll stay with the Wizards, just let me know in your comments. I'll reply to every single one as I always do. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.